Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fulton Street Beats. Glad you can join me today. As you can see, we have the Kramer on the workbench. Now this guitar is basically finished. You guys have seen how this is and how it turned out, but I'm going to do a little bit of fine tuning of the route work now. I wanted to make sure everything worked precisely and good. And now we're just going to clean up the edges a little bit and make sure that it's spot on, because I like everything perfect. I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to stuff like this. So if you guys want to follow me along today, might be a long video, might not. I'll cut up some parts, but I'll try to keep a camera here so you can see exactly what I'm doing. But so what we're doing is we're gonna clean up this edge. It's got a few waves in it from the router, and we're simply going to get out our Dremel tool and straighten those waves out and make it really precise. Not a big deal, but of course that entails loosening everything up and removing the strings and whatnot. So the first thing we're going to do is break free our locking tuners. And these never should be over tightened, by the way. You just snug lockers. And then we can loosen up our strings. And I recommend loosening up the strings in your high E first, because you don't want all that tension as the trem drops backwards. And I'm taking all the tension off the trem. All I want right now is to take all the pressure off the strings so I can remove the tremolo. And I may be able to do this depending without even removing strings. Maybe we can sit it right to the side and clean it up that way. Sometimes this stuff's easier not removing the strings, so just making sure they're all loose. Now if everything's looking a little different in the studio today, it's because I just went through and cleaned everything. Well, over the course of a few days anyhow. So there we go. So that's all loosened up. Now we're going to remove our trem bar. And I was debating on maybe when I have this out, maybe we'll do that in a separate part. Changing this to a pop-in style bar. It's a possibility. Maybe we can do that. Put that in there. Now I am going to put on my spectacles. I'm going to flip this over. Let me remove this strap real quick here too. These strap lock washers worth their weight in gold. I get these things for literally pennies, and then I get the nice strap buttons. They don't go anywhere, which is fantastic. I'll set that over there. Set that over there. Now let's turn this over. And here's our springs, and I can simply remove these now that it's like that by hand. Or should be able to if I can get my hands in there. And if not, I can remove it by hand, but I may pinch them. So we're going to just grab this real quick. It comes out. There's 2. And then there's 3, and that is done. So now we're going to flip it here, and I'm going to pull this trem out. And that's it. It's that simple. So we're going to set this right to the side, just like that. And this is where I'm going to be working in here. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to have to, of course, readjust all of this for my action. So I'm going to pull these wedges right out, and you can see it's not perfect. And I'll repaint and everything back in here when I get done. But I really want this to be right. So grab our rotary tool, and what I'm going to do is take a piece of tape and find my straight line of what I'm going to go to, which is going to be right there for that. I don't want to go beyond the point of no return, as they say. So let's do that. Like that. And this is just cleaning up, and this is definitely passable just the way it is, but like I said, I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I just want it just right. So that is why I'm doing this. And it's not a lot that has to come off. It's really not. It's just basically shaving it just a touch. Okay. I think the hardest one to tape, I'm not going to remove this pickup, so this is not happening today. There we go. So where the purple is what's getting removed, and we'll cover this, keep shavings from getting in there. There we are. Now we'll get into this one, which is my biggest eyesore. I kept seeing this and just want it to be right. So let's see if I can. I'm gonna have to cut this down the center. Use a razor blade to do that. Now I have a straight edge here. This might make it a little easier, hopefully, to do this. That down there. There we are. That's a little better. Make sure that I can get no wood chips in there either. I'll use this tape up. Like so. And there we are. So basically, that's it. We're going to get in here. And get her on top here. Very simple. Very easy. You get a very delicate touch. Hopefully you guys can see that. This makes it so much better. It looks so much better. And I work on the bottom after I get the top where it needs to be. And then we'll fill this in with some black stain. Nice. Okay, we're on the home stretch. And we're going to come over to here. And here. And what I'm doing here is bringing it in where it meets the line. So I made my curve perfect in. I'm going to run it right across and take off the purple up top. Just take your time if you're ever doing this. Almost right, but I still see a little purple there. I'm going to get it all off because we want a perfectly straight line. think we got it. Okay. There we have it. So, there we go. And we should be all set right there. We're going to peel the tape off and check it. Oh, much better. Much, much, much better. Yes. Now we have a proper look around here. It might look up here a little dirty for you, but we have a proper look. Much better look, much more professional. Well, now I'll get in here. I'm gonna wipe it out a little bit, make sure it's okay. Yes. So, I'm gonna be painting in here. I should paint. That's actually a stain where the material that we took off. And let me show you this to the camera, if the camera can see. Well, that's what we did. We cleaned that whole area up and made it really, really nice. So now this trim system will sit in here and look much more aesthetically pleasing. So what I'm going to do now is grab the stain and a brush and touch this up in here. Simple, fast, and easy. Get over here, and I'm going to use a poly stain. It's the black satin, and we'll open that up. And we're going to need a lot. This is actually the stain that I used to finish one of my gems in. And we're just going to kind of get the end of the brush here. Now we're just going to recoat everything. Pretty it up. And this stuff, what's nice about it, you get any on the body, it'll wipe right off. So don't worry about it right away. There we are. Okay, and you can see we got the stain on the body. Not a big deal. I'll show you here in a second. Do that so I don't accidentally get any stain on anything. Put our lid back on. Give her a couple taps. Par for course. And then just come back through. And if it does happen to stick, take a little bit of wax on your rag, little liquid wax. Don't take it right off. This guitar's already been waxed. So, we have that. Actually, you know what? I see a little spot that's light, so I'm just going to hit it again. There we are. Much, much, much better. I do see a little piece right there that's kind of disturbing me. Maybe we should hit that little piece. There we are. Much better. Okay. Once in a while there's just something that's just not exactly perfect, and I want it perfect, so there we are. Much better. Much, much better. Okay. And I'll come back through. Okay, hope you guys can see that. Much, much better and aesthetically pleasing. Now, question. Do I put a pop-in trem system in it while I got it out. What do you think, guys? What do I put a pop-in bar in here? I guess it couldn't hurt. And we're here, right? How much time we got left on this video? Not much. So I'm going to stop video. We'll come back to part 2 and we'll install this. But there you go, guys. Set up nice. We'll come back. We'll get it back together. Blink of an eye for you. A couple minutes for me. Stay right there. I'll be right back. Okay, so not going to work. I'm not going to be able to do the pop-in right now. I can't find the mechanism for it. So that could be a video for another time, perhaps another guitar. Why? Because, well, we just got this guitar done, and guess what? Well, almost done. This guitar is going up for sale, guys. That's right. This will be going on Reverb when I am done with it. So this will make somebody a killer guitar. Now what I'm doing right here is the factory holes, when they use the flush mount bridge that used to be on this, are exposed still down in here. And what I like to do is take a little bit of this, this is like almost like a Flex Seal Gorilla Tape, and I put it down here on the bottom to cover those holes for one. And for two, it cuts down on vibration. You'll see a lot of tremolos that actually come with a piece of material like this down here, and I find that it just helps, and it doesn't. It helps me set things up a little bit better when the bridge is sitting in here. We can put our wedge posts back in. Let's screw these in. They screw in really easy, very easily, as a matter of fact. But what I like to do is drop them kind of all the way down, and then sit my bridge in, so it's almost like a flush mount. And so we're going to go like this, sit it right in the wedges, and now you can see why that is beneficial to have that little rubber there. You're not digging or gouging up anything. Everything's laying where it should. Okay, so now we're going to hook our springs up. I'm going to wipe this off and make sure it's still clean, which it is. This is a great bridge, by the way. This is a Tone Ninja bridge that I upgraded with all new components. And the fine tuners, the tuning locks, and the blocks, and all the screws up here. Just upgraded everything. It's a phenomenal bridge. It's a really nice bridge. But you can take a lot of these bridges, provided you got a good base plate, and make them fantastic with an upgrade kit. I suggest you do that. They run about 15 bucks. As a matter of fact, I'll put a link in the description to the ones that I use. And all the parts are stainless. That makes the fine tuning just that much better. You can go as far as doing your saddles, but the saddles on this are fine. I find that where they always lack is in the quality of the screws and Allen heads. So I'm going to turn this over. Keep your hand on the trem system itself, turn it right over, and I'm going to put this under it to elevate it so it's where I need it, okay? And I'm going to start hooking up these springs, and these were in this fashion here. There we are. There's a 1. And there's 2. Much easier going on than coming off. And 3. Now the one in the middle is a noiseless one, and I was having trouble with noise. And that was the middle spring that was doing it, so that's why we have a noiseless in the middle. And we still have all of our ground here. I leave the ground on top. I don't like it underneath the spring. I don't like the risk of it binding, so I run them over. You may not like it that way, but that's how I do it. And now, with that sitting in that wedge, we still don't want it to pop out, so keep your hand on the bridge. Turn the bridge over. Now we can put the guitar here, and we can start tensioning the strings up just a little bit at a time. I don't like to go back and forth from high E to low E. Just a little bit of tension. And that's going to ensure that our bridge isn't going to go anyplace. And then we can do our setup. I'm going to raise my action up before I go anyplace. Like I said, that was just an initial setting. So I get it up to the edge. You fine tune this later. To the edge right there. Till that top edge comes up. Touches about right there. Okay. Make sure it's still in the wedges. how far up are we? Okay, I'm gonna start tuning it up actually. So we're gonna tighten our strings again. Now, right away, when you do that, you're going to see kind of what your action's going to be before you even go any farther. And this is definitely low. So now I can eyeball this kind of in the ballpark. And I do a lot of these, so I know about where it needs to be. And then once again, I tighten. There's different methods, and I do it various different ways, but on a gem I do them in a very specific way. Remember, just a little bit of tension on each string. We are not over tightening these. Now I can check action again. Now we're not even tuned up, and we have a super slammed action. Now when this raises, it will raise a little bit, so I'm going to drop. Now I know I can drop this in more, maybe a turn or half turn. Now I want this so I start to get a buzz. Drop this one in a little bit. See, we have a buzz right there. I'm going to bring it off until there's not a buzz. Or just barely a buzz. Right there. Just barely a buzz. Now we can start tuning this up to pitch and doing our fine tuning, and I hope that makes sense. Now we've got super low action. What I mean by low action, where's my action tool? AKA card. So our action right now is, we'll give it to you in inches at the 12th. We are 0.040 at the 12th fret. It's pretty low. And where are we on our high? A little higher than that on a high, so I'm going to drop that down a little more. We'll tune it up to pitch and see what we got, because that's about where I want it in its final tuning. And it's just a good starting point. There. Now we're there. We should have a little bit of buzz. Yes. A little bit of buzz on each one. Keep in mind that's going to go away as soon as we tune it up to pitch. So take that out. I'm going to get it over here, tune it up, and see exactly what we got. Stay right there. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have this action set up better than it was, well, since it was new, since I set it up for the first time, and now with the final setup, we are low. I mean, this action is very low. So low, in fact, I had to lower a pickup because the pickup was almost touching the action. So let's check this on the 12th, again, in inches. We're at 0.030 with no fret buzz. And on our high side, we are at about the same on the high side, just a touch over in between 0.030 and so about 0.035 low and in tune. Very cool. Got a nice flush system now. Looking good. I did have to lower the pickup a bit. I'm going to raise it up a touch on the high side. Now that I've lowered it and I can see this side here, we're going to screw it. Very close. There we go. Yeah, definitely needed to be lowered. Almost flush, as a matter of fact. That's how low our action is now. And that's a cool thing. So I'm going to back these fine tuners out. Now that we got that set, why am I backing the fine tuners out? Because they need to be reset. So I go back over now. This is where I'm going to end the video here. I go back over now, and I fine tune the tuning over there by my tuner. Unfortunately, my tuner's not over right here right now. I'm backing these out. I'll tighten these up. I won't go sharp because I have my string bar mounted properly. We did not touch that. So then we'll lock our locking nuts down, and then we'll do our fine tuning with our fine tuners once it's in pitch. So now that these are completely backed off, what I like to do is give them 1/4 turn each. Make sure it's completely off. 1/4 turn, completely off. 1/4 turn, completely off. 1/4 turn, completely off. 1/4 turn, completely off. 1/4 turn. Keeps pressure on them so you don't lose them. And that's what that's for. Okay, guys, thanks for watching Fulton Street Beats. I hope you like this. And like I said, this is going up on Reverb. It plays amazing. It sounds amazing. But the guitar's been worked on. It's been played. It's outstanding. It is still an outstanding looking guitar, as you can see. It's a great guitar. Best thing about this guitar is the neck. We have added the locking nut. It is shimmed properly, and superb action. Whoever gets this is going to simply love the action on this guitar. But you're getting basically a Baretta special that is kind of like a 1984, which is really cool, right? And you have upgraded strap buttons on it also, and really cool feature on the back. You got the tools now, guys. See that? You got the tools on the back too. So really cool. I added all the touches and all the features. Really cool rocking guitar. Take this guitar out, gig it, play it, love it. Because man, I do. Look how thin this neck is. This is crazy. I don't have my mic next to me, but it's thin. Fun guitar, cool. If you want to do any mods to it yourself, you're welcome to. You put a Seymour Duncan in here. Personally, I think this pickup without the capacitor on it sounds amazing, and I wouldn't change a damn thing. All right, remember, it's rock and roll to make the world go round. Hit that like button, share, subscribe.